Aliko Hepler asked, why was the decision made in the off-season to make changes to 1068, and what can volunteers tell people in their communities about how this change benefits the cause? The only changes that have been made, and I want to make this clear, the only changes that have been made to our basic initiative that was 1068, the only changes that have been made was one new section was added at the very end, which basically takes care of a criticism that we got last year. A lot of people said, well, wait a minute, you don't have any regulations, you don't have any rules, you don't have any taxes, it'll be the Wild West, oh, the sky will fall, etc. We got a lot of criticism because we didn't have regulations in our petition. As many of you know, we can't have regulations and rules and everything in our initiative because we'll violate federal preemption laws and they'll be able to strike our initiative down. But what I found out doing legal research, some more legal research over the summer, was that I could add directional language in to take care of this problem. So without actually putting regulations or rules or anything in the initiative, I could direct that the legislature do that and have it done by the end of the first session after the initiative passes. In other words, if we pass the initiative in November of 2011, there will be rules and regulations and possibly taxes, if appropriate, by the end of the next legislative session, which would be, March or April of 2012. That takes care of the criticism that people said, hey, you're going to take away the fact that it's illegal and you're not going to put any regulations in. That was a big sticking point, as many of you will remember. This directive takes care of that problem and lets the legislature know, yes, we do want you to come up with appropriate rules and regulations. Now, they cannot recriminalize, and they have to stay consistent with the intent of the initiative, so we're not going to get a recriminalization, but we will hopefully get reasonable rules. As many of you know, our initiative simply repeals and puts it in the legislature to come up with a system, and that's where we should be fighting about what kind of system we want is in the legislature. But the actual repeal of prohibition and the actual legalization itself is what we do in the body of the initiative, and our initiative is substantially the same as it was last year. And just to go on and explain real quickly, the reason why we had to refile and why I refiled 2 initiatives, and we're waiting on 2 ballot titles, and we'll pick the best one and run with it. It'll either be 1148 or 1149, and we are going to go with the one that has the best ballot title. I was able to do the legalization 2 different ways, as it were, as it pertains to juveniles, and it's simply the one that'll give us the best ballot title. When we submitted the same initiative, basically, that we submitted last year, the Attorney General had problems with it, and they made a very political anti-marijuana kind of ballot statement because they believe that we have removed juvenile felonies for marijuana. We don't believe that we did. We think that we could have won a court challenge, but that would have cost us more time than doing what I've done with the refiling and correcting the problem, if it even exists, 2 different ways, so that we know that we have a viable initiative going forward. So they're at the Attorney General's, they're waiting on ballot titles. They have 5 days. They have to get us a ballot title by next Friday. Then we'll have it, then we sit for 5 days, then we go. So that's where we're at, and that's why we had to do what we had to do there.